My name is Shane Ivan Nash. Stay tuned and hit that like and subscribe button.
This is the Transparency Podcast Show.
It was a really intense set, and I don't know if it was necessarily the full production's responsibility on that behalf, because some of the participants just came in that space and made us, it was so combative. It didn't feel like we were actually trying to come to a middle ground, which I was visibly, upset in the video for, the blatant comments that were made that were, especially towards the two of you. It was really hard to even sit there. And then at the same time, to hear someone that has a platform that really does influence folks. And then I was just watching all the faces of the people that I had helped throughout my career working in some nonprofit work, and remembering a trans veteran who would have to take off their makeup when I would take them home at night because they stayed at a VA shelter and they were afraid that they would get beaten up. But it was just all those folks' faces just flashing through my eyes as she was saying all this rhetoric that she doesn't quite understand the impact of her language and how it actually affects the system as a whole. And that was really hard to kind of be in that space. And a lot of the context and a lot of things were kind of cut off because the way that she was operating in the space, the director, I think for the first time ever, had to make rules.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting to me because somehow, some way the narrative has been flipped that, we attacked her or we did this, we did that, but none of her actions are really being held accountable, at least on her behalf. I mean, maybe should I not have said, what do you do for the community? Maybe. I mean, that obviously hit a trigger
you did the
for
right
her.
thing.
But for me, when I was hearing what she was saying about pulling people out of the military and then she wasn't offering resources or speaking for detransitioners, I was actually trying to empathize for detransitioners in that space. I was thinking, well, what are the numbers so that we can create resources for these folks? Because I'm putting on my, my nonprofit kind of activism, oh my God, people need help hat. And I'm seeing, okay, well, if there's a detransitioner issue, we need to create resources for that.
Yeah.
And I see somebody who has a platform who is really speaking for these folks, and that's not really platforming these folks and actually creating real resources. Because if I can kind of see how detransitioners feel like they're, in a rock and a hard place when it comes to our community, because they don't quite fit in. They feel isolated from the trans community. They're not being accepted by the cis community. So there's that gap there. And I was trying to have a discussion on how we can support that gap. I didn't really mean to trigger her. I don't really know exactly why it triggered her so much, just to ask her a simple question of, hey, do you have 100 people you've worked with? Because I was trying to, again, find the numbers and what she was speaking on, but she kept speaking in such general terms. I felt like I was just chasing, from one subject to the next. And as soon as we'd land to a point, it would go to another point or it would turn into some catty thing. And it was just really unfortunate to see somebody, because part of me, again, was excited to debate her. The way she portrays herself online was somebody that could really handle a debate. And I don't know if she handled that debate in a way that even made her points come across the way that I think she wanted to. And she even said online already, she was so triggered by my comment that she couldn't handle the rest of the debate, which it's like, I'm asking for deliverables on what you're actually doing. I don't think that's anything that should be wrong or should not be questioned. I mean, if you were to ask what I did, I have no problem saying I did this, that, and the other. And even if someone were to disagree with me, it wouldn't trigger me because I'm fully aware of the work that I've done. It doesn't, rock me to that way.